Awaken to hair growth. Awaken to hair growth because there is possibility to get your hair back. Awaken to hair growth because we're not told that we're able to conquer and overcome alopecia. Awaken to hair growth because I want to be a positive light and beacon for you because I've healed my alopecia and now I help others do the same with different types of alopecia, men, women, children of all ages, of all races and ethnicities. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Alopecia Angel podcast. I am your host, Johanna Dahlman, and today we are going to go over a listener's question. And I had someone email me and message me on Instagram, actually, and they asked me, so once my child heals, does her autoimmune disease go away? And I wanted to respond to that because I'm sure other people are thinking it, and also because maybe people are also confused about this autoimmune disease. And what I'd like to say is think about when you heal from anything, whether that's a scratch on your knee or whether that's, healing and, getting healthy after a cold or a flu, or even when you reverse a diagnosis, let's say reversing diabetes or reversing, the cancer diagnosis that you have. You can reverse many illnesses. You can reverse many things, right? And we can heal very easily with some versus others. Others take some more work, others do not. But the susceptibility will always be there. So for example, everyone is susceptible to getting a cold, right? Because it's viral and because you can get this from daycare and you can get this from a loved one. You can get this just from sharing certain proximities with them, like a house or office space or et cetera, right? We can all get a cold. In terms of an autoimmune disease, this is something that some of us are predetermined to have, right? There's over 140 different types of autoimmune diseases. And for me, I'll use myself as an example. I've had alopecia areata. It's been more than 8 years, though, that I don't have it. I know exactly what triggers it. I know exactly what I need to do to keep it under control, to keep myself healthy, and to not have that come again. The same thing happens when I have a cold, right? I know what a cold feels like. I know what it looks like. I know what the healing time is. And I also know how to prevent it. I also know how to prevent getting a cold. I also understand how to prevent doing these things and mitigating so that I don't get a cold, so that I don't get alopecia, so that it doesn't have to come back. So if you have a child or a loved one, or if this is for yourself, if you have the gene for alopecia, like if you would have the gene for MS, right? Or rheumatoid arthritis or any other autoimmune disease, yes, you would have the gene and you would always carry it, but that doesn't mean that it has to be blooming, right? Just like a flower. It doesn't have to bloom. In this case, our genetics or predispositions for a disease doesn't have to be fully developed and it doesn't have to be fully showcased or blooming in this matter. Why? Because if you control it with diet and lifestyle, if you control it with the methods and the strategies and the techniques that I teach you inside the Hair and Heal program, you can mitigate that. And just like you can mitigate and avoid getting a cold or catching the flu, you can also mitigate getting the recurring vicious cycles of alopecia areata and totalis and universalis. You will know exactly what to do because the thing about it is that you can control many things in your life, and life in general is an up and down roller coaster, right? We have ups and downs, things happen that are quote unquote out of our control, but there are many things that are in our control. And so this is what exactly I teach you. So I can empower you. So you take back the control and you're like, nope, that's it. It stops here. The hair loss stops here and no more. So I hope this answers your question because I think a lot of times people think that genetics determine the rest of your life. Genetics determine and, showcase your destiny and, set the stage for the rest of your life. And that's not true. That's not true. Just because you may have a certain gene or a predisposition to it doesn't mean you have to have it for the rest of your life. I didn't have alopecia until I was like 30 something. It showed up in an ugly way. And then I healed it. And now it's been more than 8 years. So it can be taken away and done with, not having to deal with it ever again. And that's the beauty of understanding the education, understanding and learning how to really support yourself from the inside out, how to understand your body and understand what you need on a personal level, right? Because it's a little different for everybody. And even if you're doing this for, let's say, a child, that child will grow into understanding and learning the habits and ways of being that are needed to support the body efficiently for them as they grow into, the adult, into the person who goes to work, into the person who goes to, school and all these other things that we do in life, right? Yes, there will always be challenging options and challenging situations within life, but we can mitigate it with learning the tools, techniques, and strategies to prevent these things from happening. Just like you can prevent, so many things in life, you prevent it with a strategy, with tools, with techniques, with understanding and learning what that prevention looks like. So we can prevent a sunburn by using sunscreen, by wearing long sleeve clothing, by wearing a hat, by being underneath an umbrella, by so many things. Isn't that right? So we can prevent many situations. We don't have to expose ourselves 100%. And the exposure probably more than likely won't ever happen again, because once you learn how to heal, it's a healing forever. And then you can heal and mitigate that day by day, week by week, month to month, year to year. And this is what I mean by when I say take back the control. Take back the control of your hair loss, of your hair growth, and understanding that you hold the keys for full hair growth and full hair control. So I hope this helps, and I hope you feel more empowered in order to move forward, because it really is in our hands to be able to say, this is where I'm at, and I hold the keys for my improvement. I hold the keys for my health. I hold the keys to do better. And that's my truth. And I hope that you believe that too, because it's only in supporting ourselves and in our bodies that we're able to see the fruits of our labor, that we're able to see the hair growth, the high performance hair growth, right? You have to do this in a very strategic way. And it looks very different for everybody. It really does. Thank you for listening to the Alopecia Angel podcast, a positive light in healing alopecia. You can do this, and we can help. Spread the word that reversing alopecia is possible by telling your friends and family.